Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Bay, and today we are going to be doing some Pokemon fusions. So I went ahead and picked some ahead of time. I didn't feel like recording the little generator website. The first one I got is Qwilfish and Eevee. For those who follow me on Twitter, you've already seen that I sketched out a rough sketch of this guy because it was supposed to be my warm-up sketch, but I ended up really liking it. So what I did, I took the Eevee's body and kind of gave it like the Qwilfish eyes, and I turned like the fluffy thing around the Eevee's neck into the pufferfish thing. And so I had some spikes around its face and a little horn instead of the hair. And I changed the tail to the fishtail because I wanted to add as much as I could. Maybe I added a little too much Qwilfish to this, but I really enjoyed how it turned out at the end of it. The colors you'll see later. I've got a swash in my color thing there. The eyes, I picked Qwilfish's eyes. I thought it made the Eevee look a little mean, but I didn't think the regular eyes would look very good. My friends and I, we kind of called this thing like a Huion, kind of went with that. I don't know if it'd be like a mutated evolution or like if it'd be like another water type. I think Qwilfish is just a water type, though looking at it, I wonder, it could have been maybe a water poison because it's part of a pufferfish. I didn't do a lot of fancy line art here. I kind of wanted to get the shape down. Just a really angry looking Eevee. I couldn't get the tail right there at all. I just copied and pasted it because when you get that perfect line, you can't draw it again. Yeah, that's kind of what was going on there. Just drove me nuts. You can see a few times actually I got a little frustrated. But the line art was done, nice and easy. I just blocked in the colors real quick. I kept Qwilfish's colors because I thought it looked really cool, and I just felt the brown didn't look quite right. So I did keep the collar thing, the same peachy color that Eevee has, just to kind of incorporate something other than the body shape. Shading wasn't anything complicated, just a quick overlay, kind of get some color down. I really like doing Pokemon fusions, so I'll probably do more of these. Unfortunately, for some reason, the shading didn't show up on the eyes. I go back and change it later, just for some reason the overlay doesn't seem to like to work with white very well. All in all, this one out of the three I do in the video is probably my favorite, and I'll probably draw it again. I think it turned out pretty cute. For the second one here, I've got a Vaporeon and I think it's called a Sewaddle. I don't remember catching this one when I played the game myself, so I could be saying that wrong. I haven't watched the anime in a while. I did a couple different designs on my sketchbook, kind of what I wanted to go with this one. I tried the Vaporeon's body with like the leaves around the neck and kind of try to make it look like a leafy sort of mermaid thing, but I ended up not really liking it. I couldn't make it work for some reason, so I decided to switch it around and try the Sewaddle's body instead and see how that worked out, and add the Vaporeon features instead. I think this one turned out a lot better than my initial sketches. The initial sketches aren't that nice looking, actually. What I like about this one is that it kind of looks like maybe like a tadpole or something like that, something like a baby form of what this could evolve into, and I really enjoy that. Maybe it would evolve into the thing I drew in my sketchbook. I don't know, but I really wasn't sure about its face and like the things on the side of its head, but I really like the body of it, and I like that I did the leaf on the tail. I thought that was cute to kind of pull in like a grass water type, maybe when it evolves it turns into like this water lily Pokemon sort of thing. It's kind of what I was trying to go for when I did the Vaporeon body, and I ended up blocking in the eyes, as you can see there, rather than like coloring it in like Vaporeon's. I took the eye shape from Vaporeon but did the eye style of Sewaddle. The body I kept like Sewaddle's, not a big deal, and I added a tail. Like I said, it looks like a little tadpole, and I think that's really cute. I don't know why. Every time I do fake Pokemon, they just turn out... Well, most of them turn out cute. I've got some pretty ugly ones in my sketchbook. But I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with its feet. I did keep Sewaddle's feet. like I said, anytime I tried to do Vaporeon, it just looked odd. I don't know why it came out that way. I had the lines on the belly, and like Sawaddle's got this line on the side, but I don't really know what it was, but I just added it for aesthetic. And I took a little nick out of the tail. Maybe like a, not necessarily like a bite mark or anything, but I kind of wanted to show that it was like not a perfect leaf. Maybe this little one was just kind of out in the ocean. Maybe got some problems going on. I don't know. I added the little spikes from Vaporeon as well. I kind of tried to trail them off, look like it was going behind its back. I don't know if I accomplished that completely 100%, then added some up at the top. And I think that kind of solidified the idea there. Again, I hated the lining on this. I kept finding spots that I messed up. I blocked in color real quick. The little scales actually took the longest time on this because there's so many little ones. You just click, 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 and it's took forever. The coloring was pretty simple, but I did struggle with the mouth. No matter how many times I changed the color of the mouth, it just looked really bad. And I'm not sure if it's because I should have chose a different color or if like it just, maybe I should have left it open so that way it was the same color as the body. It just, every time I put a different color on it, it's like, nah, that looks bad. Oh, how about this one? No, that looks bad. And I don't know why. I just couldn't figure out that color scheme. Unfortunately, when I did the shading, it just came out too light. So I had to go back and fix that. I'm pretty sure I darken it a little later, and I unclip it, and it just looks, you know? It's like, oh yeah, this looks so good, and then you unclip it, and it's like, oh no, I'm so sloppy. But that's what we got clipping layers for, right? Added a cute little texture into the tail just to make it look more like a leaf, nothing super fancy. Just to kind of add just a small bit of intrigue to it. I didn't want to draw in like a bunch of scales because Vaporeon doesn't have scales. I think it's just like a sleek body, maybe like a dolphin. I'm guessing that's what a Vaporeon's like. All in all, though, I really like this. I think it turned out really good. And for the last one here, you can see I've got Skitty and Haunter. This was recommended or requested by one of my friends, and I personally really love Skitty. It was one of my favorite Pokemon in Ruby and Sapphire. I always had a Skitty in my team, even if it wasn't necessarily the strongest one. Haunter, I think I always had a Gengar. I did really like Haunter, but I just never, I liked Gengar more. For the design, I kept the Skitty's body and kind of like made this angry, cute little cat. And I gave it Haunter's hands, kind of to make it like ghostly hands. Because let's be real, if you saw the little Skitty thing, you'd be like, oh, well, that's not a big deal. I could take that on. And then like it gets angry and these giant creepy hands come out from the side and it uses like psychic abilities or something like that. I think that'd be a lot more intimidating. I drew the little, what did I call it? Haunty. Oh, by the way, the last thing's name was Swaddleon or something like that. For Haunty, I kept its eyes, and like I said, I kept the body shape of Skitty because I thought it would be a lot cuter than trying to turn Haunter into like a Skitty. I think this just looked better. I drew it hissing like it was in an attack mode, and I got rid of Skitty's tail because it just didn't feel like it fit. In my initial concept sketches, I actually drew the tail on the hand and like using the powers that way, but I thought it looked a little weird. And then I toyed with the idea of them being like psychic hands around or like the ghostly hands. So I think this just looked a little better. These hands are abysmal at best. But Haunter's hands aren't really anything to cry home about. They're just kind of creepy looking. They've only got 3 fingers, so I don't think realistic was what they were going for with the hands for Haunter. But I think all in all they look alright compared to what they're supposed to be. I added a little thing on Skitty's face, like the color differentiation. I thought that would really work well when I ended up coloring the Skitty. So it seemed to fit pretty alright, especially since I've got the divider on the back there. For the colors, I took the purple of the Haunter and the cream color of the Skitty, and those were 2 of my base colors. I thought that looked pretty good. I maybe should have gone a paler yellow. I did just, I changed this there. It looks a little creepier now. I maybe should have done a paler yellow, but I color swatched from the Skitty, and that's kind of what came up, so it's not a big deal, though. For the hands, I wanted to show that there was like a ghostly or a psychic energy coming from the hands, so I went in and used my my brush that my friend made me and kind of went around it and tried to get that spooky look. And I don't know if I 100% caught what I was trying to do for that, but all in all, I think it looks pretty good. For shading, for some reason, every time I tried to get a shading color, I just couldn't get it. Nothing looked right. I think it was because there's such a drastic contrast difference between the purple and the yellow that I ended up shading them separately to make it kind of work. I don't know if it necessarily worked in my favor, but it was the best I could really do to get what I wanted with it, with the overlay layers. So, I mean, whatever, it works, right? It was a little sloppy, so I had to go back in and clean it up. It's like, ugh, nasty. All in all, though, I mean, Pokemon fusions are one of my favorite things to draw. I like the creative process of thinking, well, how can I put these two together? It's almost impossible. Like, how could I do that? And I think for the most part, I've incorporated the two Pokemon in each individual one pretty well. And I'll probably do more of these because, I mean, I do drawing games with my my friends where we do Pokemon fusions and stuff. And I always have fun with that. So you'll probably see more of these from the future. I still have a few requests that I wasn't able to get in the video because they were just too long. And I'd like to put a little more thought into them because they were a little harder than these. So I didn't add a shadow underneath the other ones. I probably should have just kind of give some background, but I felt because it was trying to be like a little spooky thing, I put something in the background to make it look better. And the eyes, I tried to kind of maybe make them look a little better than they were. And that's it for Haunty. So here's all three of them together. I hope you guys enjoyed them. This was a lot of fun for me, and like I said before, I'll probably do more of them. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to comment and like and subscribe. If there's a Pokemon fusion you'd like to see, just let me know in the comments down below or follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.